My real name, if you can believe it, is actually Lil Wenker. I'm bringing a show called Boyking to the Edinburgh Fringe this year. It's a evil clown musical about an 8-year-old boy who wants more than anything to become the king. So it's very classically my style of comedy, which is quite rowdy, interactive, a lot of physical comedy. And yeah, it's fun. It's very different than the show I made before. So it's been fun to experiment with something different.
And you've kind of touched on it there, but how would you describe your style of comedy for people who've not seen you before?
Yeah, so my background is in clowning. So I that to me means I come on as a character and I have a story, a narrative story that I will bring out for the hour. But I love interacting with the audience, whether it is a participant. So no one get afraid. I won't make you go up on stage. But it is about improvising with the sensibilities of the audience within a narrative that I have. So if there's something funny, we stay in that for a while. If there's something surprising, we stay in that. And I love using my body to tell the story, to tell jokes. If you saw my first show, BANGTAIL, you knew that I created the world of a Western using a lot of physical comedy. And that's exactly what I'm doing in Boy King as well.
And what was the light bulb moment that made you decide this story was the one for this show?
Yeah, funny actually. So last year, about this time, I was making a different show. And I thought that was going to be the Fringe this year. And it was about a little boy who wants to play basketball and dunk a ball. You can see there's maybe some similarities in what the show ended up being, but it just wasn't the right thing. And a few months before that, I had been in Australia on tour and I had written down like different ideas for shows. And one of them was just the note Boy King. So I found that about July of last year. And I was like, oh, maybe I don't know what that is or what that means. It's really out of context, but maybe that feels more fun, a little boy king. And then the more I started playing with it and the more I started just feeling the feelings I have about the world right now, the more I thought that an evil little boy could be a more fun vehicle for what I want to say.
And then where did your own kind of performing begin? What's that journey been like to this point for you?
Yeah, so actually, it started a really long time ago. I did musical theater in the local community theater where I grew up in Minnesota. I was actually a super shy kid. So, really, it was a way for me to get out of my comfort zone and learn how to just speak to people and not be so terribly shy. And I did that. I did lots of the musicals and I became a lot more confident just chatting with people and being up on stage. But I never thought seriously that I would do this until the pandemic happened. And I had heard about this clown school, Gaulier in France, this famous clown school. And I thought, you know what? This is sort of an open door for me to go and see if this is something I like. And again, I wasn't thinking seriously about it. I thought I was going to go and be a lawyer or a journalist, some very serious job. But I thought, you know what? Why not? I'm 20 years old. I have saved money from these 3 jobs I had. I thought, let's just go for it. And I went there and I suddenly saw all of these people who were 30, 40, 50 years old pursuing art. And I'd never really been exposed to that before. And it really sat with me. And then just as I graduated uni, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to be sad if I don't just give it one good go. And so I moved to London after that, made the first show I made, BANGTAIL, and it went super well. And I've just been doing this professionally ever since.
And how do you reflect on Bangtail and what did that teach you going forward for Boyking?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually just thinking about it today. Like, I loved that show. I felt it taught me everything I know about clowning. I never performed by myself. Even when I did Gaulier, I would rarely get up. I was too nervous to go and do something by myself. So doing an hour by myself, that was such an accomplishment for me and just grew so much. And I can be on stage in front of people by myself. I can hold their attention. And then, of course, it really allowed me to find my style. It helped me get in my body, which I'd never done before. It helped me be really stupid in a way I hadn't been before. I kind of at uni, I was like, oh, I get good grades and I'm going to be very good at this. Clowning's the opposite. It's about failure. It's about being stupid and big and messing up. And that I think just helped me so much as a person. And then that obviously has just become my style and translated to Boy King.
And obviously you're working again with Cecily Nash, who kind of you collaborated last time. What's that relationship been like and how is it, again, second show this time, how has it developed?
Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun. So we became friends through making Boyking. We were strangers at the time. And so now or during BANGTAIL, excuse me. And now during Boyking, obviously, it's just nice because we have such a shorthand together. We've made a show before. I've brought the show on tour. So it's really lovely to feel like she understands my style and we sort of collectively have a style together now. And it's nice. I feel like we can hold the highs and hold the lows a lot more authentically because we just know each other. We're best friends now. We're not strangers. And yeah, it's nice to see this show is very different tonally than Bangtail. So it's been interesting for us to together explore what it means to make a clown show that's in a darker landscape, almost kind of in a bouffon world. So I feel like we're also just learning a lot together as well.
Why do you think 2026 is the perfect year for Boyking to be happening?
I mean, power has never been more present. I mean, I say this all the time. This show is as much about power with a capital P as it is about people on the overground or the two telling each other off for being in the wrong place. I think we are just in such a moment when people feel kind of such extremes of extremely empowered and extremely disempowered. And that is just coming to a head in such a specific way that it felt like more than anything, obviously, there's so much going on in the world, but more than anything, I was like, this is a show about this struggle that we are all feeling to be like, I am here, take me seriously, and how that manifests across people with really different accessibilities to that feeling.
And obviously, we're a week into July now. What are your kind of mental and physical preparations ahead of the run in August?
Yes, so I have five more previews. This will be by the time I finish the whips and all the previews, it'll be 26 shows. So I'm getting to the end, 21 down, five to go before then 25 more. So I'm definitely a bit tired, but I'm feeling excited, honestly. I keep just saying I wish it was August so I can just be there doing the show. I mean, I love performing and I love just being up there. So mostly I'm just excited to kind of get there. I'm doing a lot of tap dancing rehearsals. This is a nice challenge. I don't tap dance, and I thought
Mhm.
maybe it would be fun to learn that for the show. So I'm doing it's like a dirty dancing situation. I'm learning how to dance. We're trying. Um, and yeah, just running around. We're going to Cardiff today, Bath on Saturday. So just a lot of traveling around the UK before then.
And for the show, obviously, flyering is a big part of the Edinburgh Fringe. If you couldn't use a flyer to promote the show, but you had to use an object related to the show, what would you give out?
So I had this crown commissioned. Like my big thing that I decided to have about the show was this huge crown that's pretty much like as tall as I am.
Yeah.
It's massive, and I feel like that by itself calls people's attention. So I'll be probably walking around in that in the courtyard.
Hell yeah. And then what is kind of one item in your Fringe luggage that you couldn't survive the run without?
I don't know if you're familiar with the stand-up Karis Bradley, a really lovely storyteller, comedian. And the day before I did Bangtail, they were doing these mini tarot card readings, and they gave me a tiny little tarot card that is the world. And I don't know that much about tarot, but I know that that one is about like being where you are, exactly where you are. The world is your oyster, basically. And that felt like such a good omen for me before my debut that I always have it no matter what show I go to. Big show, little show, it just feels like that to me is really the kind of perfect mentality of clown that you're with these people. They're just such a great opportunity to make something together. And so that's what I always think about.
And how would you kind of rate success at the end of the Fringe run? What is success for you at the Fringe?
You know, I think that's so interesting you asked that because I was thinking about this today. Obviously, it would be amazing to transfer to some theaters to get to do it in different places, to go on a tour like I did for Bangtail. But I've been really thinking about obviously success is so hard to control. You can't control it. To me, what feels so successful is I had a lot of self doubt, to be honest, in making the second show. Bangtail went really well. It went to five countries. It went to Soho Theatre straight after. And there's just then a lot of insecurity. How do I do something different? How do I do something better? And just having made another show that I personally feel proud of and that feels different feels like a lot of success to me.
And this is probably like leaping ahead, but how far in the process do you then start thinking about the next show? Is that kind of already in there, or is it kind of that
It's always,
feature?
I feel like it's always in there. I feel like little tiny moments in life will think, oh, that is a show, that is a show, that is a project somewhere. So I think I have always sort of a Rolodex of things that could be a show, whether it's the next show or not. But yes, I'm sure that there's lots of things cooking.
And away from seeing shows at the Fringe, what is the one Edinburgh spot you recommend for people to visit?
Ooh, this is a good question. Um, there's this place called Elby's, and it is a giant hot sandwich place. They give you these big, beautiful focaccia sandwiches. And when you've been running around and doing a tap dance musical, I can imagine that that is going to be the thing to bring me back from the brink.
And to break it all down, can you describe the show in just 5 words?
Just 5 words. Um, Let me see. He will not be stopped.
Superb. And then what would you hope someone does take away from seeing the show?
I hope that people laugh in a way that is cathartic and feels useful.
Beautiful. And then final question, where can people see the show?
So I'll be at Bunker One at the Pleasance Courtyard, 9:45 each night, except for the 17th.